Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about kind of our journey and from flipping furniture to flipping houses, what we learned and how you can use it to grow your own business. You know, if you've been here for a while, you've watched any of my content, you know that flipping furniture was a big part of my journey. It started as something small, something I had to do. It was a way to furnish our first home with no budget. And over time, it turned into a business that opened doors I never could have imagined, including the whole world of flipping entire homes. So today I thought it would be fun to share what the transition looked like, what flipping furniture taught us, and how it brought us into flipping houses, but it's also something that you can use the same lessons to grow your own business, whatever bigger looks like for you. So when I say that, I'm going to be completely honest, and I don't know if this is just for creative people, but I will find sometimes that I'm bored. And that's kind of where it got when I was flipping furniture. Obviously, I'm doing different things now. I will still, and I probably always will. I will pick up a piece of furniture that's got potential and still make it over. I still share them on my website, but now it's just kind of like that creative outlet for me. I still need to do those things. I still need to create. I need to decorate. I'm always going to do that. DIYing is just like in my blood. I grew up with a dad that worked in construction. He did teach us a lot, but I'm also married to a husband that enjoys it as much as I do. So I'm very lucky in that. And I know people say that all the time, like on social media. Do you know how lucky you are? Yes, I do. But it didn't start that way. Matt did not even know how to swing a hammer right when I met him. And I kid you not, that is not an exaggeration. He didn't know how to use a drill. He grew up in a sports-minded family. His dad didn't do any of that stuff. And so when he met me, my dad, that's all he did. I mean, my dad was into sports too, but he was into construction and building, and tools they were in our basement. They were in our garage. I was always around that. And so when people are like, do you know how lucky you are? Yes, I do. I'm grateful that he enjoys it as much as he does. That's what I'm most grateful for, because if he didn't, this would be a whole nother story. Whatever bigger looks like for you, I feel like that has been me a lot of times when I get to this stage of there's something else. I just feel like there is something else out there. And if you don't know, part of my story was when we had our kids, after we had Gabrielle, Matt and I decided that I would stay home and be with the kids, right? Well, after that happening for a few months, I had friends that heard that I was home. And so they started reaching out to me and asking if I'd watch their kids. And it started like, hey, can you watch them on a Tuesday? Can you watch, you know what I mean? And I was like, yes, of course. Bring them over. Well, then it turned into this full-time thing, which was great. I thought, to be completely honest, I got my degree in child psychology. I thought I would work with kids for the rest of my life. It's natural to me. I love it. I started babysitting at 19. I would do full summers of nannying. I worked in church, the daycares, I would run those. And then I got my degree, and then I was the director of a daycare and a preschool right after college. And then I watched all the kids here in our home. It is something that I do enjoy. It's something that does come natural. I like working with kids. And so I just thought that's what I was going to do. But this whole thing about whatever bigger looks for you, that started to, when the kids started getting older, we were redoing our house and doing all the DIY projects here in our house, as I was watching the kids, and my dad was helping us. And then friends and family were like, you need to get your ideas out there. This is genius, whatever we were doing. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to start a website. And at that same time, a blog. And at that same time, it was just like this nagging feeling like there's something bigger, there's something more, there's something. What is it? I can specifically remember looking out our living room window and having this full on talk with myself. It was just this nagging thing. Started the blog, and then it kind of snowballed from there. I'm not gonna bore you with all of that. That's how that kind of snowballed. It's always been this like, wait, what else can I do with this? Wait, what else can we do? What else is out there, if that makes sense? And so with furniture flipping, it kind of got to that. It's like, I feel like I flipped every piece of furniture known to man, right? And I didn't know that it was going to turn into all these other things, right? But being drawn to creativity, taking something old, worn out, forgotten, turning it into something amazing again. With every piece I flipped, I learned a new skill: how to spot potential, how to fix things that seemed too far gone. Oh my gosh, there were so many pieces that people were like, you are not picking that up. Like, there is no way. I know one specifically, it's on my website, that people are like, you're nuts. And the makeover, I loved it so much, I kept it in our house for probably over 10 years. I learned how to budget projects, how to sell, how to manage a project from start to finish. And if you think about it, all those things are exactly what flipping houses. It's the same thing, right? So flipping furniture kind of gave us a foundation. My dad also helped us with the foundation, but it did kind of build our confidence to look at it. And I'm going to be completely honest again, like, my dad has flipped houses in the past. He has not done as many as Matt and I have done now, but, so he has taught me a lot about, looking at rundown houses and, seeing potential, or, look for this, but don't look for that, those kinds of things. But it got to a point where my dad could not do it at all anymore, right? His health, if you've paid attention to any of my content, his health he now has dementia. He is in a nursing home, and it was just kind of a downward spiral. And it got to the point where we were helping my dad, with some projects. Like, we would paint if he needed somebody to paint. We would do those kinds of things. But it got to the point where it's like, Matt, I can't rely on my dad anymore, if we wanted to do this and do something bigger than just, these projects we're doing at home, we have to do it on our own, right? Like, we're going to have to do it. And we just felt like we could do this. We have been doing before and afters for so long, we can do it. So the skills that transfer perfectly from flipping furniture to flipping houses. And this is just, I am not giving you any advice on what you should or shouldn't be doing, but I do get people asking these questions about, I want to start flipping houses. Like, that would be amazing. What goes into it, or all of, those kinds of things. But if you've been flipping furniture for a while, you probably already have so many of the skills that would make you successful in bigger projects, whether it's house flipping, maybe it's refinishing kitchens, maybe it's just running your own creative business, like something else. Here's what furniture flipping teaches you that translates perfectly. Spotting potential. That is number one. And it's spotting potential where it's not too far gone, right? So how many furniture pieces are, you're in a thrift store or something and you see it and you're like, this is too far gone. Like, I cannot even bring this back. It's not even worth it, right? Same thing. It goes into house flipping, right? And you already see value where others see junk, right? Budgeting for profit. So that's a big one. If you're flipping to sell, right? You know what materials cost, how to price your work, and how to make money, right? You're doing that. Time management, another huge one when you're flipping houses. You've learned how long different projects take and how to plan your work days. You're doing that when you're flipping furniture. Problem solving, ding, ding, ding. Like, this is your life if you're flipping furniture or flipping houses. You fix drawers that stick, legs that wobble, finishes that don't go as planned, right? You've done all that, and you are definitely, just so you know, you will definitely run into problems when you're flipping houses that you're going to need to solve. And negotiation. You've learned to find deals, work with buyers, and confidently price your work, right? These skills, they're entrepreneurial skills. You're doing it. You have them. So even if you never plan to flip a house, remember this: you're already building the foundation of a business mindset, one that can grow and evolve in ways that you might not even see yet. And I'm telling you, there's so many things you have not even seen yet. Once we started flipping houses, it really opened our eyes to how important structure, planning, and teamwork are. It involves contractors, materials, permits, design decisions, timelines that stretch for weeks or months, sometimes depending on what you're doing. It's definitely, obviously, a bigger commitment, right? But it's also, for us, incredibly rewarding. Matt and I were just, last night, we are finishing our latest flip house, and we weren't sure what we were going to do with this house. It's kind of got a backstory or a story that goes with it that I haven't shared online, and I probably won't. And so I just didn't know if we were going to sell it, if we were going to rent it. There was a time when each of our kids thought about, well, maybe, maybe I'd want to live there, blah, blah, blah. And so it's just to the point now where with college and everything else they have going on, they can't make that leap and pay that. So a family friend knew this couple, and so we spent a couple hours with them yesterday, and what an amazing couple. They are going to live in the house for a year, and then we're going to kind of just obviously see what goes from there. But Matt and I were sitting down last night. When I say it's a bigger commitment, but it's incredibly rewarding, there were a couple times when the couple was over at the house and they were kind of, measuring and just looking around and stuff. And Matt gave me a fist pump a couple of times at different times. And he's like, we did an amazing job. Every house that we've completed, we are so, and to not have my dad's help at all, recently with the last 3 or 4 for sure, it just makes us even more proud. But we were sitting down last night and we're like, it's been crazy. This last year's been crazy. We have been busy with all these houses, but it's just so rewarding to see what you walk away with, what you finish, what you did, and where it came from. It's so incredibly rewarding for us. And I'm so thankful for all the years that I spent flipping furniture first, right? It gave us the patience, the creativity, the problem-solving skills we needed to handle the bigger challenges that come with homes. It also made me realize just how important systems are, especially this last one. We got to work with a lot of companies that, like all new windows in the house, a brand new kitchen. And so waiting for them to get that done so we could continue stuff we had to do, it was just, systems are great. Schedules are great, but sometimes you have no control over them. You can't wing it when you're managing a house flip. You can't just be like, whatever, right? And the same is true for furniture flipping business, right? The more organized, consistent, and strategic you are, the smoother everything runs. So how furniture flipping prepared us for growth and how it can do the same for you. Looking back, it was like flipping furniture was our training ground. And I say our because Matt, like I said, once he learned how to use the tools and do the things, and then all of my ideas that I want to bring to life, he's like, okay, let's figure it out. And so it's so funny. If I'm out working on a project and he's home, he wants to be in it with me. He wants to be doing something with it, which I absolutely love. But it taught us how to manage projects start to finish, how to budget and track profits, how to stay consistent even when things don't go perfectly. And with house flipping and with furniture flipping, things are not going to go perfectly. And how to think like a business owner instead of just a maker. And that especially comes into play when we are, we do have a couple of houses that we are renting right now, and it's a business. And I have to remind Matt that this is not personal. It's business. It is not personal. It's business. That's one of my favorite movies. That is a line from one of my favorite movies. If you are listening to this podcast and you know it's not personal, it's business. If you know what movie that's from, message me, DM me on @mycreativedays on Instagram and tell me. That would completely make my day. So anyway, but you have to remember that. If you are flipping furniture right now, I want you to see flipping as more than just a hobby or a side hustle. When you treat it like a business, even a small one, I'm not saying it's going to be a 60-hour week, you start to build momentum that can grow into something so much bigger. Could be just flipping more pieces. Maybe it's opening a booth. Maybe it's creating content online. Or maybe it's you're flipping houses like we started one day. You know what I mean? I want you to think of it beyond just flipping a piece of furniture in your garage. If you are thinking and listening to this and you're thinking, I want to get my business more organized, I want systems, confidence, and consistency, this is not a podcast, again, about the Furniture Flipping Academy, but we need to do a better job about promoting it. But that is exactly why I created the Furniture Flipping Academy. I walk you through everything I wish I had known when I started. I teach you the things that I learned by accident, and how I grew things and how things grew for me, how to create systems, how to make your business easier and more sustainable. If you're just winging it, I'm just telling you there's a better way, there's an easier way, and I'm telling you there are other ways that you can be making money while you're sleeping, and then building this into something else that's so much bigger than what you're thinking of right now. I'm telling you, you don't know what you don't know, and I put it all inside the academy. This academy is for anybody from beginners to people that have been flipping for a while, and you get lifetime access. You can have access right now today. You can take it at your own speed. There's no rush. There's no race. You can take it, you can buy it now and take it in 6 months. I have made the academy now the entire thing with all the templates, all the work we've done for you, all the videos, everything. It is now cheaper than your cell phone bill every month. And for some of you, like I say, your coffee habit every month, it's cheaper than that. Cost is not an excuse anymore. We were hearing it way too much. And I've always been the person that's like, well, if you want something bad enough, you're going to figure out how you can afford it, right? You're going to stop going out and getting coffee. You're going to save money here to make it up there, whatever it is. But now it is only $79, which is crazy. And my team's not happy about it, to be completely honest. And I said, I'm doing it. If I can get this in front of more people, if it's the price alone, I don't care. I don't care. I just want to get it in more hands. So if you are somebody that maybe you've thought about flipping houses, maybe you've thought about, doing something bigger, getting a booth, whatever. Maybe it's a farmer's market you want to set up on the weekends. You want to start doing something like that. Get yourself the Furniture Flipping Academy. It's going to help you with all of those systems and just thinking about it more than just a side hustle and a hobby. I will leave a link to the Academy in the show notes, so definitely check it out there. If you have any questions, you can email me. You can reach out to me on Instagram at My Creative Days. But that's kind of how I think furniture flipping helped us with the whole flipping houses process. It's been such a fun run, and hopefully we have more in our future. But until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.